Hi, welcome back to That's So Nova. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Today we're going to be doing a fun little fast-ish project from Sallie Tomato. It's called the Bailey Stocking. The Bailey Stocking is a mini holiday stocking that is inspired by the classic movie It's a Wonderful Life. You can customize this stocking to feature luxurious fabrics, creative embellishments such as embroidery, applique, ribbons, just for personal touch, and it's a perfect gift to share and cherish for the generations. Now, the Bailey stocking, to me, I immediately gravitated to because I noticed it was faux fur with faux leather. So the materials that you're going to be needing for this is the main fabric can be made out of cork, faux leather, faux fur, and the contrasting could be cork, faux leather, or faux fur for the cuff too, which the interesting part about this pattern is there is no lining because we're using self-healing fabrics. So I'm going to show you the materials that I got. There's only 5 pieces. You're going to need one piece that is going to be for your hanging, like to hang the stocking. These 2 pieces of yellow cork I'm using for the cuff. And then for my stocking, I'm using this Starry Night cork fabric. And you're going to need to make sure you cut it out mirror image. So let's begin. You can use double-sided tape or whatever you have on hand to fold this in half. If you don't have double-sided tape, please do not use pens when you're using cork or vinyl. It's not self-healing, as in like it won't recover from pen marks. So use a couple of wonder clips or use some double-sided tape. Bobby pins, whatever you have on hand will be good. So we're going to take this to the machine and we're going to stitch this down 1/8 of an inch down on both sides. I'm sewing with a 2.5 stitch length. My needle is at 8014. The thread that I'm using is from Wawak or Wawak. I always say that incorrect, I think. And it is a 40 weight polyester thread. 45, text 45. Let's trim those threads. The next part we're going to do is put this cup, I can't talk today. I'm going to trim this because I guess I didn't get it exactly how I wanted it. We're going to put this hook, this loop onto our stocking. Now, when you do this, you're going to want to take your stocking and you're with the right sides, with the right sides, with the right sides, you want to, with the right sides down, you want to make sure that you hang the loop about 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to get a ruler. With wrong sides together, we're going to position it and we're just going to put this loop one on this side, and then we're going to take the loop and bring it over on this side. So I'm going to take my clip and fold over so that I can bring this over to my machine and baste it down. And I went about 3/4 of an inch in from the back of the hill area. So let me just show you on the bigger side. I'm going to clip this. I'm 3/4 of an inch in on the wrong side. The toe box of the foot is facing away from me, and the heel is towards me, and that's where I'm going to put the loop. If you put the loop in the front, it could still be functional, just look a little different. Different's not a bad thing. So let's bring this to the machine and sew it down at 1/8 of an inch, just to base it in place. All right. So once we have that, we're going to grab our cuff pieces And we're going to fold it over 1/4 of an inch. Because I am not the best at eyeballing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take I thought I had a pin here. I'm going to take a pin. This is an air erasable one. And I'm just going to draw a 1/2 inch line. And I'm going to fold this over so that the wrong sides are going to touch on that line. And I'm just going to machine baste it in place. We'll top stitch it in place. And trim that. We're going to do the same thing with the other cuff. Now, if you're like, hey, Shnova, these stitches are going to show on the show, and my bobbin is not always has the best tension like my top thread does, then what you can do is you can kind of clip it in place. And then bring it to the machine and top stitch it this way. There's always a way. But I always say check your tension on your bobbin, because, you know, sometimes it's easier to sew when, like, not blind. All right, so we're going to take these two pieces and we're going to put them together. I like to just make sure they line up. I'm going to put a clip on top just to make sure I can keep them in the position. We're going to sew them out using a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Back stitch well at the beginning and end. Trim those threads. All right. Now let's start assembling the stocking. We're going to put the stocking right sides together. And this is why it's mirror image, so that they can fit nicely. So I'm going to put a couple clips here. Again, you don't have to over clip, or you can clip or don't clip, whatever you do. If you're using cork or vinyl, please do not use pins. All right, we're going to sew all the way around this using 1/4 of an inch. We're going to back stitch really well at the beginning and end. You take your time. There's not a race. And just get a feel for your machine. I like to always, before every sew, I take a piece of scrap fabric and I try to gauge out the tension prior to making stuff. Let's not sew over the ruler again. I already did that twice today. Awesome, awesome. We're going to trim down this seam allowance to 1/8 of an inch. Be very careful because this is a small seam allowance, so sharp scissors are optimal in this position, so that way you're not, you know, accidentally dragging. If by chance, let's say you did cut into your stitches, it's not the end of the world. You could just sew 1/8 of an inch above the original stitch line and all the way around, and you can just have a little bit of smaller stocking. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. All right. So we're going to start assembling. Now, turn the assembled stockings right sides out. Hold on. I'm sorry. I said that incorrect. Okay. Trim the seam allowance to 1/8 of an inch. Position the cuff over the top main portion of the panel. the right sides of the cuff against the wrong sides of the I can't talk today. The wrong sides of the main panel. All right. So we're just going to have them, so the wrong sides of the stockings out, and then what you're going to do is you're going to position the cuff over the main panel, so the right sides of the cuff is against the wrong sides of the stocking. So the stocking's wrong sides out, the right sides we're going to make touch, and then we're just going to make sure the seam allowances match on both sides, the side seams. I'm opening them up, kind of butterflying them, so that way it can help reduce bulk. And then we're going to sew this at using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Take your time. You can use as many as clips, bobby pins, not like pins, because we're using cork, but whatever you need to make sure that these two raw edges are aligned with one another. It's a very tight space, so I do think adjusting in between each stitching is like important. Okay. And then we're going to push the stocking through. Stick my hand in there. If you have a turning tool, it can help too, like a bone folder, a pen that, you know, has its cap on, something that's not going to poke a hole through your beautiful project. I'm going to take this pen and just gently poke out the curves. And then we're going to take this cuff and we're going to fold it down. How cute is this? Oh my goodness, this is so cute. We're going to fold this down, and this is your... This is adorable. Okay. So now we're going to just top stitch, doing 1/8 of an inch. Around the top part. And I'm just going to nestle this in. No real clips are needed. You can just, I'm going to eyeball it, but you could clip. Make sure everything is down to the exact markings that you want. And I'm going to backstitch 1 or 2 stitches, and every time I adjust, I'm just going to have my needle down and just breathe. Look how cute this is. All right. I could see someone like doing like a Coca-Cola theme one and then putting like a glass bottle of Coke. You can get people's names put on them and put like candy canes and all kinds of fun stuff inside. This is adorable. You're done. You can try to maneuver with if your stuff is rolling over, just, you know, tug it with your fingers to help with the seams, loosen up a little bit. But this is all done. Not a lot of lot of material you needed, and you have a really wonderful gift to give someone. There's so many ideas that are going through my head. If you or your children or your family members are part of a team, you can do team colors, put names, embroider, and like add special trinkets and like things in there. Like this is a cool gift card thing, like stick it with it and put candy and whatnot. I see a lot of possibilities with this, and hopefully you do too. So if you do like this pattern and you like the way I did the teaching, if you can make a comment, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell button, it means a lot. Hit that like button, smash it, say ho ho ho, punch, like button, like button. I can't talk today. And I hope everyone has a really good day, and I hope you were able to enjoy this make. I will talk to you guys soon. Happy sewing.